Come on, man. Come on. Let's get it. Grab the bike pace. I got the staff too.
Produced by J.O.
Let's get it. I got 80 on me.
Got 80 on you?
80 books in the cannon.
In the cannon.
I got the 80 on me.
Got the 80 on you?
80 books in the cannon.
In the cannon.
I got 80 on me.
Got 80?
80 books in the cannon.
In the cannon.
80 books in the cannon.
1611.
80 books in the cannon.
1611.
I got 80 on me.
1611.
80 books in the cannon.
1611.
I got 80 on me.
1611.
80 books in the cannon.
1611.
80 books in the cannon.
In the cannon.
It's 80 books in the cannon.
In the cannon.
It's 80 books in the cannon.
In the cannon.
It's 80 books in the cannon. I got 80 on
1611.
80 books in the can.
1611.
80 books in the can.
In the cannon.
80 books.
John, nice to meet you, John. You got a book. So that means you do a lot of reading and studying, right? Right. So we are the Light of Zion. My name is Captain Ainor. We are the Light of Zion, Port St. Lucie, and we're bringing out the truth according to the Bible. There, what you see is a sign of history that happened and transpired when? From the 1600s to this present day, right? You have the slave ships, you have us on the fields, you have the yoke of iron. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 real quick. Do you believe the Bible, sir? Have you ever read or come across or heard that this that we see on this sign has been prophesied in the Bible? That it was prophesied that it will come to pass as a ramification, as a consequence if we don't do something. You get Deuteronomy 28. You get Deuteronomy 1 and 1. Yeah, the cotton fields, right. You get Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. If you give me 5 minutes, I'm gonna bring that out real quick, right? According to the Bible. Get Deuteronomy 1 verse 1, and you go to Deuteronomy 28.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 1.
Read it out.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on the side Jordan in the wilderness.
Right, so the reason why I went to Deuteronomy verse 1 and 1 to show who are these words being written to, right? Moses received these words from God, and Moses gave it to the Israelites, right? Now you get Deuteronomy 28 verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Matter of fact, yeah, you get 28 and 1. Here you go, take the mic.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1.
Come on.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Slow down a little bit.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right, so if we hearken, if we listen diligently, if we take heed to what we're being told, come on.
To observe and to do all his commandments.
Right, to do what?
To observe and to do all his commandments.
Come on.
Which I command thee this day.
Read.
That the Most High, thy power, will set thee high above all nations of the earth.
Right, so the Most High Yahweh, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, he gave us an ultimatum. He said, if you listen to me, I'm going to set you above high. Right, Brother John? Now check this out, verse 15. 28:15. 28:15. You got 20:15? You get 28:15 and you get the curses
verse
in the
15.
field.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Read it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments,
Right.
and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
Come on.
that all these curses,
All these what?
all
these curses,
All these what?
all
these curses,
Come on.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So all these things that we see on this sign and on these signs, right, are curses, are bad conditions, right? A curse, is it a good thing or a bad thing, Brother John? Is a curse a bad thing or a good thing? Regarding the Bible, not like the curse word, but if somebody say, I curse you, they try to do something bad, right? Right. So now we're going to read some of the curses that the Most High said because we disobeyed and did not keep his commandments, the curses that he was going to apply to us, meaning conditions that he was going to put the nation of Israel. Now you read verse 16 and 17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 16.
Jump
Read
down
out.
to 54, the yoke of iron.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Cursed shall thee be what?
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Cursed shall we be in the city.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
You shall be where?
Cursed shall thou be in the field.
And also the so-called blacks, African Americans, those that are called Negro, will be cursed in the city and in the fields, right? Picking cotton for over 15 hours a day, catching heat strokes, right? That was something that happened to our people because of our forefathers, unfortunately, right? We're reading it right in the Bible. Now you read the yoke of iron. Jump down to 58.
68.
No, the yoke of iron.
Yoke of iron, come.
You got it? 50.
That one I was reading.
The one about the hunger.
Oh, 36.
Thirst?
36. Come. 36. Come. Let's pull up Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse. Let's start from 30.
No, 48. 48.
48.
Yeah, 48.
Come. Verse 48.
Come on.
Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies.
That we shall what?
You shall serve thine enemies.
We're reading out the King James Version, 1611, and it said that we shall serve our enemies if we disobey God's voice, if we don't keep his commandments. Come on.
Which Lord shall send against thee.
Who's sending against
The
us?
Lord shall send.
He sent it against us because just like our parents, when we break their rules, they punish us. And that's what's going on, John. Read.
And hunger.
And what?
And
In
hunger.
hunger.
Anything that we need, we got to go to our enemies. Come on.
And in thirst.
And in what?
And in thirst.
Read.
And in nakedness.
Come on.
And in want of all things.
Unfortunately, the so-called black man, Latino man, anything they need on a majority amount, we got to go to Publix, Walmart, Save-A-Lot, Target, right? These are businesses that we don't own as a nation. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron.
He shall put a what?
Put a
A
yoke of iron.
He shall put a what?
Put a yoke of iron.
You see the picture on the top right corner, Brother John? That's a yoke of iron. And we seen that in the museums. We see that in historical books. We see that they don't really show this information no more in the school systems. Why? Because they don't want us to link it up with the Bible. Because if we link up these two, then that means by process of elimination, that the people that happened to are the same people we're reading about in Deuteronomy 28, Brother John. Keep reading.
Come. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Upon thy what?
Upon thy neck.
Upon thy neck. Read.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until he had destroyed us. All right? And that was the instrument that they would use on our brothers, on mainly runaway slaves, so they can get caught up in the trees and you know what I'm saying, and don't run away too far. That was prophesied in the book of Deuteronomy 28. That happened hundreds of years later. To show you that what we're reading has been prophesied in the Bible. You get 68 now. You get Romans 15 and 4. What we're reading for a fourth time for our learning.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
And I believe we have a picture of us in the ships, right? This is right here, right? Now read 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
The Lord shall what?
The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Hold that. Get Exodus 20, verse 1. The word Egypt is an ambiguous word that means bondage, right? So when it says Egypt, it's telling us about a condition, right? Let's get Exodus 20, verse 1.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1.
Bring it out.
And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
Out of the land of Egypt, you familiar with the story of Exodus and Moses? In Egypt, we served 400 years as captives. Read.
Out of the house of bondage.
So anywhere we see the word Egypt in the Bible is significant to the house of bondage. Now, go back to you.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
Romans.
Straight out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
Go ahead.
By the way whereof.
Right? The Most High said he was going to bring us into Egypt again by ships. That's what happened to us in the 1400s, to the Native Americans, the indigenous in South America, Central America, North America. That's what happened to the so-called blacks, Haitians, Jamaicans, West Indians in the 1600s as they grabbed our people from Africa and many other parts of the Eastern Hemisphere through what? The transatlantic slave trade. We read it right in the Bible. It said through ships. Read.
By way of.
But here's even more detail, Brother John. Watch this. This ain't happened to everybody. Watch this.
By
Read.
the way where I spake unto thee.
Come on.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Read.
And there.
And there.
You shall be sold.
You shall be what?
You shall be sold.
You shall be what?
You shall be sold.
Come on.
Unto your enemies.
Unto who?
Unto your enemies.
Read.
For bondmen.
For what?
For bondmen.
Come on.
And bondwomen.
Read.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall redeem us. No man shall save us. So this weekend, right, you know, by process of elimination, we're in America where they celebrate Memorial Day, right? In that time, Brother John, this is what happened to our people. So should we be celebrating Memorial Day? If this was the conditions of my fellow brothers and sisters? No. All we got to do is this. Get Romans.
Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
This is what we should do. Read.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime,
Everything that we're reading has been written aforetime for our what?
were written for our learning.
For our what?
For our learning.
For our learning, Brother John. So we can learn from the mistakes of our forefathers and not make those mistakes again. Get Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Read it again from the top.
This book of Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
And this is why the Most High put the Spirit of the Lord upon us to bind the brokenhearted, to bind those that are hurt and that are blind and are going through these trials and tribulations. What? To bring us back to God. Right? Read.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience
Through patience, what?
and comfort of the scriptures,
Of the what?
of comfort of the scriptures,
Of the very same scriptures we read it unto you, John. Come on.
might have hope.
Might have what?
Might have hope.
And that's what we need to find, right? We need to find hope. And how we find hope is by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments that God gave Moses and gave unto the children of Israel. Right. The so-called blacks, African Americans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, right, Haitians, Jamaicans, West Indians are the true children of God. When you look at this sign, John, right, we at the Light of Zion, with much study and much research and scholarly books, we believe that the 12 sons of Jacob, right, today, if they're walking this modern time, the so-called Haitians, Dominicans, African Americans, Cubans, South Americans, West Indians, Jamaicans, Central Americans are the children of Israel. And that's what we're coming out here. And we want our people to remember this. Right? Read it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12.
Read it out.
Yeah, for the singular as a sign and wonder.
Okay, cool.
And
Read.
now Israel.
And now what?
And now Israel.
Okay, come on.
What doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Read.
But to fear the Lord thy God.
To what?
To fear the Lord thy God.
And this is how we can receive hope, John. By fearing God. Come on.
To walk in all his ways.
To what?
To walk in all his ways.
And that's what the Most High God got us out here to proclaim unto our people, to walk in the ways of Christ. Mashiach Yahushua, who the world eagerly called Jesus Christ. Come on.
And to love him.
And to what?
And to love him.
Come on.
And to serve the Lord thy God.
And to what?
And to serve the Lord thy God.
Read.
With all thy heart.
With what?
With all thy heart.
With all our heart. Our heart is just a body part in our body that pumps blood. When it says heart, it's talking about our mind. Whatever we put our minds to, we're going to do it wholeheartedly. The Bible's saying to follow and love God wholeheartedly. Read.
With all thy soul.
With all thy what?
With all thy soul.
All right. That's it? All right, come on. You get it. You get what you get.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46.
Right. So the reason why we go into these and why we got these signs and pictures like that, because this is how we show our people information that we read it in the Bible. The same way as if we go to the intersection and it says there's a street light and there's a street sign to show us where we're going. This is why we use this information to show us where we come from. Read.
Verse 46.
See it? Read it from the top.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46.
Bring it out.
And there shall be upon thee for a sign.
These curses, these conditions, these trials and tribulations shall be upon us for a what?
For a sign.
Come on.
And for a wonder.
For a sign and wonder, so we could wonder and ask ourselves questions like, damn, if this happened to me, right, and it's in the Bible, and I believe in the Bible, then this got to be me, John. Read.
And upon thy seed forever.
And upon thy what?
And upon thy seed forever.
Right, so if our forefathers are the ones that made these mistakes and went through these things, and it said it shall be upon their seed forever, we're that seed. We're that seed that was born into iniquity.
Yeah, that's prophecy. The Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Yeah, that's prophecy, that's prophecy. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Yeah, that's prophecy, that's prophecy. And I will cause thee to serve thy
shifts, yeah, that's prophecy, we nameless, yeah, that's prophecy, no lane switch, ain't no stopping me, let's go, slave ships, yeah, that's prophecy, grave shifts, yeah, that's prophecy, we nameless, yeah, that's prophecy, no lane switch, okay, ain't no stopping